So while we were in Vegas, there's a few things that happened over there that I had never thought about before when renting a car. So I got home and decided I was going to jot some of these things down. I jumped in the car and kind of outlined some of these ideas. So here's some things to think about when renting a car.
Okay, so you guys gotta forgive me please, because it's morning and, well, I'm ready for a Red Bull. And I know it's not the most healthy thing, so, but cheers, good morning. So we were just in Las Vegas last week and rented a couple of cars down there as we were on our journey to discovering the world of exotic car rental across the US. So stay tuned to our channel. We'll be going from the west coast to the east coast in search of kind of the top exotic car rental companies, and it's a good time. So once again, back on topic. So we came up with a couple of things that we wanted to share with you to think about before you rent an exotic car. At the top, kind of wanted to start with, take your time with the vehicle. I think Royalty did an amazing job in the beginning. They helped us through the checkout process. Very, very simple. Took us outside, asked us if we'd ever driven any of the cars, and then ran through the use of the vehicle. And in supercars, there are a lot of buttons and knobs and different things that you can do to adjust the settings in the vehicle. And so it was extremely helpful. The worst thing that you can do is get into the car, lie to the person, to the customer service agent, tell them you know how to drive the car because you just don't want to look, what you think might be stupid, which isn't. I think the smartest people in the world ask questions that they don't know answers to, right? So please ask as many questions as you can. If you feel like there was something that was missed or skipped during the initial process of the showing of the vehicle, please ask, what is this button? What does that red button do? Those are usually the important ones.
If a chicken had lips, could it whistle?
Next down on the list is, play with the vehicle, play with the mode settings, play with the power delivery. Probably 99% of the world don't drive supercars daily. Generally, these cars have more power than our everyday driver. And because of that, we aren't always used to the way that the car will deliver the power to the wheels, the way that it handles. And so, take your time to progressively go through different modes on the vehicle. And every car has a different setting for what the mode is called, and usually, it starts at, something that's very daily driving mode, to something that's got a little bit more power to it, to something that's more driven towards the racetrack. So, take your time, go through that, get on the throttle a little bit when you're in your close eco mode, and feel how it works. Feel the power delivery, feel the braking system, take your time, bump up to the next mode, get a little more power, brake a little bit harder. These are the things that'll really help you get accustomed to how the car functions and how it works, and makes you a better driver in that specific vehicle. When you have a destination in mind, it creates a clear point of travel, right? So don't get me wrong, get in the car, have fun, drive around town, don't have a plan if you don't want to have a plan. But it's always fun. Create a nice little plan, and like if you're in Las Vegas, there's tons of things to do that are outside of the strip. If you're in LA, tons of cool places you can go, to the beach and to Anaheim, to all over the place. Make a path, make a direct route, stick to the route, and that way you aren't in one of these expensive cars in traffic, and then you're trying to make U-turns in the middle of the road, to get around. Once again, having a good clear plan and path of where you guys are going is probably good for beginners.
Everybody's lost but me.
Moving on down the list, these cars are very, very performance driven, and traction control is a life I am a huge I do this quite often myself. I get into one of these cars and I say, you know what, I'm Mario Andretti, I can drive as fast as this thing will go. I can't.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
You know, I raced motorcycles until, you know, from when I was a kid up until, you know, just a few years ago, and then got into cars because my wife wouldn't let me get back on the track. So it's always a good idea to keep the traction control on until while you're on the street. The only good time to have it off is maybe the track, and that is if you're an experienced track driver. It's a great place, controlled environment. You've got ambulances there, no cars. You don't have dogs and cats running out in front of you. So great place to turn off the traction control and have a really good time. But you know, when you're on the streets, keep it safe, keep the traction control on. Let it correct your mistakes, because we all make them. That is for sure. Keep in mind how low these vehicles are. So, because the hood slants down on some of these cars at a very steep rate, you don't know where the front of the hood is, where the side of the car is, because they've got nice curves and different, you know, angles to the vehicle. So these cars are very low, and so when you park in these cars, please keep in mind, always back into your parking spot. If you don't, you could very easily take the front end off of one of these vehicles. They are not high enough to go over the parking barriers. I've seen it happen before. It's not a pretty thing, but you can save yourself a lot of headache and a really bad time by just backing in. Get really good at backing the vehicle in. That kind of goes for parking next to curbs as well. Once again, sometimes you can't see how wide the vehicle is, or you're just unaware of how wide the vehicle is, and you pull in and there's a whole group of people standing around because they see you pulling up in a Lamborghini or Ferrari, because that happens, and all of a sudden there you go, scraping up the wheels, and everybody's like, oh, look at that idiot.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
So, you know, generally I always tell people, probably, you know, park in a parking spot. Don't park next to a curb if you can't judge the depth of the wheelbase to the curb. Another thing I was thinking about last night was how cost saving they are with the gasoline they put in their vehicles. Now, I don't care, and I don't think anybody cares what gas you put in your car. But keep in mind that all of these cars have a rating because they are high compression supercar engines that need high octane gas. If you do not put high octane gas in these engines, they will detonate. And then that means that we've got to replace an engine, and the car is out for however long, not being able to get rented, and of course the guy behind you who wants to rent the car doesn't get to enjoy the car like you did because he wanted to save a couple of dollars on gasoline. Please, when you return the vehicle, understand you cannot put 89 octane. You have to use super unleaded Supreme 92 or above. You cannot use anything below that. Speeding. Speeding is something we all want to do in a supercar. Why wouldn't we? It's what the car is built for. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have fun with this car. I am not ever telling you don't have fun with the car. But please keep in mind, these cars can go very fast. You can get a ticket very fast, and you can cause an accident very fast. So we'll just leave it at that. Be very careful about the speeding, the laws, and always obey traffic laws. Moving on down the list here, this is probably one of my favorite topics and most hated topics all at the same time. Revving the engine while in neutral. I don't get that.
Do not do that thing.
I get the car sounds good, right? Like, it sounds amazing to hear the roar of the engine and pop and the crackles and all that type of good stuff, but I mean, seriously, when you rev the engine and when it's in neutral, one of two things that can happen. First, you can damage the engine. If the car is, oh, I think we almost got hit by somebody. That was awesome. Watch out for people around you. Note to self. Once again, don't rev the engine while in neutral. You can cause a lot of problems with the engine. It can overheat the engine and cause a lot of damage. The engine can be revved while in forward motion. That's what it's for. They are high rev limiting engines. You can step on the gas, and as you slow down, you'll hear the pop and crackle from the back pressure and all that cool stuff, but in forward motion. Please keep that in mind. All right, this is actually, it sounds kind of stupid, but I did it myself the other day and didn't think about it until I did it. And that's wearing the right shoes when you drive. I went and got into a Ferrari 458 the other day wearing a pair of Yeezys. And there's a very, very small foot area. And it is obviously best practice of driving to just use the right foot between braking and gas. But that area where the brake and the gas is so dang small. With a pair of Yeezys, it's very, very easy to mess up and hit the brake when you're pressing on the gas, or when you're letting off the gas. My Yeezy, the edge of it got caught underneath the brake pedal. It was the oddest thing I've ever seen in my life. Just wanted to throw that out there from my experience the other day. Make sure that you're wearing the right shoes. So, getting out of the car without looking like an idiot. Some of these cars, they've got a high hump on them. I don't get it. I don't know why they do that. I know there's got to be a reason why. It might be structural for any of the vehicles that are built out of carbon fiber, and maybe I should look that up. You know, once again, that's part of getting comfortable with the vehicle, right? Get comfortable with your car, getting in, getting out, and it'll save you a couple laughs, or maybe somebody on YouTube taking a picture of you showing this idiot getting in and out of a Lamborghini or something like that, right? So anyways, on to the very last topic of the day: know your limits. This is a very good topic for myself because I don't know my limits. I never know my limits. My wife, that's the thing that she loves about me the most, or maybe it's the thing she hates about me the most. So if you are like me, and most guys are, we all think we're the best at everything we do. So when we get into a car that has 600 horsepower, we think we can step on the gas and go as fast as any other race car driver in the world. Not always the case. Be cautious, be safe. These were just some of the things that I thought were helpful to share with people. We've got people here who are watching us, I guess, as we're finishing up this video. So thank you very much, guys, for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Stay tuned.